My brothers and sisters in truth, fellow members of the Conspiratorium, I bid you a hearty hello and a hi-yo silver and give you the holy word of truth. Now, I want to start off by saying this very, very clearly. As you may or may not know what is going to happen next regarding the plight and the travails of one Candace Owens and you and me, but maybe you in derivative status. Let me explain. First, they're going berserk because she is rising to the top, Candace, with a power and an influence that's ungodly. Nobody ever saw this coming. It's almost immediately, thanks to Erica. Think about this. By virtue of her insanity, and I use that term loosely, she's not really insane, but through her performative lunacy, or whatever you want to call this, all of a sudden it turned and shifted to Candace. And when all these new people came in to listen to her, they listened to all of her other particular thoughts and positions and the like. Erica brought people in. That's why Erica is going to be shut down, closed down, forced into retirement. Before you know it, one day, you're just not going to see her. I'm not saying anything bad. She'll be, I hope, taking care of her kids and doing whatever she has to do. But she clearly cannot handle the limelight. Because as people are reviewing, with not even any investigative diligence whatsoever, they're peeling back the first cellular level of her background, and people are going berserk thinking, my God, she's fraudulent. And now everybody is questioning everything from her commitment to Charlie, her sexuality, her past, her activities with spooks and intel, and the Laurie Franz. And it just, they want to say, stop this, stop. You've got to stop this. Shut her down. Shut her down, shut her up, shut her off, close down this inquiry. That's what's happening. Now, next point. If you're new to the whole Candace, Charlie, Erica thing, let me give you an overview. There are 4 particular issues that are interesting, and you can pick the one you want. The first one is the crime itself. The crime, the ballistics, the evidence, the idiosyncrasies, the strange anomalies in the factual basis, witnesses, accounts, evidence, proof, you name it. This is just the crime, the crime itself. Number 2 is who did it? Who did it? Did Tyler Robinson act alone? Did Tyler Robinson act at all? Do the pieces of evidence comport, comply, and are they consistent with the evidence as adduced? That's a critical thing to know. Are they consistent with this? And this can come a variety of things. I mean, who is involved in this? Who? Was it alone? Was it a conspiracy? Did he act on his own? Many people are trying to suggest that this was not a conspiracy. A conspiracy being 2 or more guilty people joined in a confederation, in an agreement to bring about some type of nefarious or criminal outcome. That's what it is. It's very important. That's the question. That's the question. Who? The third consideration is why. Is it because of Charlie? Because I think it goes without saying that, you could theoretically take the claim that the authorities are providing you is that Tyler Robinson one day became so enraged by Charlie's thoughts as to trans issues and the like that he says, I've got to do something about this. Okay. Now, if you believe that, it's up to you. Good for you. I don't think anybody in their right mind would believe that, but that's their official story, and they're sticking to it. Okay, fine. That's the way that is. Great. Okay? Terrific. Now, The other issues are, could it be because of Charlie's political ideology, his disenchantment with the president, with the president's Middle East program or policies, with war? Is that it? Implying that that disagreement led to other people liquidating him, dispatching him, because his resistance was so great and so significant and so powerful that it could have a significant effect on the efforts being involved. We'll get to that in a moment. You got what I'm saying? You got it so far? You got it? So the crime itself. Second issue I'm going to jump into, and you can do all you can mix and match. Number 2 is who did it. Number 3 is why. Why was this done? And number 4, and this is the most important, which I think is more interesting, is just Erica Kirk. The trials, the tribulations, the fugazi, the phoniness, the absolute contrived controversy of Erica, who started off with a hands-off attitude of, listen, she's a widow, that's done. Even they don't even bother with this anymore, because we never realized where she came from, who she was, what a phony she was, what a liar she was, how duplicitous, how weird, how strange, how performative, how theatrical, how rehearsed, how choreographed everything was. We don't know if there's anything about her that's even remotely real. Do you understand what I'm saying? Of course you do. So that's that. Keep in mind that. That's that. Now we'll go through these a little bit more. But before we get to that, let me tell you what they're going to do next to you. And when I say to you, this is if you're a big name, influencer or whatever you want to, commentator, or just a regular Joe. They're going to have to shut Candace down because they love to do this. See, in my world, if I ran the show, the best way to let a particular adversary go is to let them blow up. In professional wrestling term, there's a term to blow somebody up. They blow them up. That means this. If I'm in a match with you and I'm involved in a shoot, which is is a real thing, and I want to teach you a lesson, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'm going to show you a couple of things here because I'm the veteran and you're the punk, and I'm going to show you a few things. And you probably knew this, but I'm going to do it anyway to you. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this thing called blowing you up. For example, if you're going to get me in a full body slam, normally when I come off the ropes, I pick you, you pick me up, I push off of your shoulders to help you just continue this momentum. That's how Andre the Giant got body slammed by Harley Race and Hulk Hogan. It happens. I assist you. I help you. I either push off your shoulders, I throw myself into the momentum, I work with you. I put you over is the term. If I want to teach you a lesson, I don't do that. What some hulking wrestler could do is he just jumps on top and then stops. Then all of a sudden you have to hold me up. Let's say I weigh 300 pounds. And you have to expend all your energy by getting me off of you. You're winded, you're out of control, and you just blew up. You expended all your energy. I exhausted you. I let you go. And you're nothing. You can't fight anymore. That's what you do. If you really wanted to let Candace go, let her talk. Let her talk. Work herself into a fever pitch. Have all of her folks get tired of it. Maybe expend all of their energy and their concerns. Use every ounce, every gram, every stitch of energy that they have. Let them do this. Let them do it, and then it'll just wear out. But the last thing in the world, you don't want to martyr somebody. You don't want to make a big deal out of them. But that's not what they do. They never do that. They have to act. So what they do and what they think they're going to do is they're claiming that she's anti-Semitic. Now, let me just say this right now. I am not going to analyze the worth of this claim. I'm not going to do it. If somebody calls her a conspiracy theorist, I'm not going to analyze whether she is a conspiracy theorist. I don't care. This is what they do. They find something about you. You used to be racist, transphobe, but that doesn't work anymore. Anti-Semitic, and or conspiracy theorist. The anti-Semitic claim, and by the way, make no mistake about it, there are true anti-Semites. There are people who absolutely positively take what would normally be called racism and they apply it to people by virtue of their Jewish faith. Absolutely. And we can argue whether they're Semites and all that stuff is a waste of time. If you want to get into the parsing of the words, if you want to get into the etymological origins, you're wasting your time. But I'm telling you, there are. There are people who are virulently, not anti-Israel, but anti-Jewish. Absolutely. And shall I go on to the other antis? Want me to go through that one? There's anti-everything. There are people who you have no idea. I was raised as a Catholic, and I heard this my whole life. John Kennedy can't be there. He's got to connect, and he's got to answer to the Pope. He's not a Catholic. They did it to Al Smith. Catholics were. And then the Jesuit conspiracies and the Venetian conspiracies and this and the Rome. I mean, Opus Dei. They put them in the same rights and the same levels of some of the most sincerely dangerous, if you will, the conspiracy theories and Eyes Wide Shut. So I've been through this. And yes, as long as you have people, as long as you have individuals, you're going to have hate. That's a given. But what I'm saying is, and what a lot of people have been warning, is that you have been using the word anti-Semitic for so long that you have caused people to habituate to it. So it might not have the sting that it did a year ago for some people, because that word never came up. Now it's over and over again because you've closely associated it with Middle East policy, and a lot of people who themselves are Jewish are being called anti-Semitic. It's a mess. So move that aside. Let me go back to what I'm saying. The way they're going to go after her is to call her a vile anti-Semite. That's one. And anybody who agrees with her, they're going to lump you into that. They're going to lump you. They're going to say you're an anti-Semite, or you hate Erica Kirk, or you're a vile. Who knows? They haven't done this, but they might try to link the Macron thing into you. They might say that you're some kind of a transphobe because you agree with Candace Owens. Rule number 1. Because you like what somebody says about A does not mean you necessarily endorse and ratify what they say about B, C, D, or anything else. Let me say that again. If Candace Owens says something which is completely lucid, which completely comports and complies and mirrors everything that you feel regarding a particular subject, and everything else she says is off the wall nuts, that doesn't disqualify the fact that she agrees with you regarding this. That's it. James Watson from Watson and Crick, the DNA. This guy, genius, helped map, construct, and discover the double helix with Crick, his partner. This guy was, towards the end, I don't know, he was everything there was. One could say anti-Semitic, racist, misogynist. He was everything. And I kept saying, so there was no DNA molecule that he discovered? So he didn't discover the double helix? So he didn't discover the ADCG, adenine, guanine, the pairings. So he wasn't responsible for unraveling the mystery of life? Is that what you're saying? Because he's a racist, or is that it? What do they want me to do? And they say, no, it's okay. In law, there's a notion called the doctrine, contract law really, of severability. You've seen it sometimes when you sign a contract that says, if any of the paragraphs turn out to be inconsistent, illegal, unlawful, whatever, we will just remove them and see if the whole contract works without that. That's what we do with life. You take somebody who says something that you agree with, and then the rest of what they say, you get rid of. Now, as a practical matter, it's probably not a good idea for you to say, hey, I like the fact that Mussolini made the trains run on time, so I'm for Mussolini. I'm a Mussolini fan because Mussolini was responsible for and advocated public transportation. I would say, whoa, wait a minute. No, stop. Don't do that. What? Mussolini is not the only person who ever did that. There's no reason for you to do that. Think about it. Honestly, don't. Find somebody else who's a better advocate. I know he might have been light years ahead. I understand that. But going back to Candace, they're now going to just bombard her. And what she does is when you push her, she doubles down even more so. She doubles down even harder. And she does so because she's an American citizen and she has the right to say anything she wants. Period. End of discussion. Now, that may bother people. Doesn't mean you necessarily ratify it. Doesn't mean that it even comes into consideration in your evaluation of this. Not at all. But that's what they're going to do. And then they're going to get a group, like something called maybe a Wikipedia, or maybe a Snopes, or maybe a PolitiFact, and somebody somewhere is going to make the connection that you are an and then fill in you're a racist or homophobe or anti-Semite or whatever it is. And they're going to link you with that. Why? Because you are a member of this, of the Candace world. And they're going to give her a name. And you're saying, wait a minute, I didn't sign on to that. I said this. Doesn't matter. They lump everybody because that's the way, it's kind of a shotgun approach. They do it sometimes with MAGA. You notice that? Tucker Carlson has says that the MAGA, excuse me, yeah. This is Charlie. This has nothing to do with President Trump. Nothing. Why are you saying MAGA? Because MAGA has become somehow, maybe, confused with and merged into that of Republican. Excuse me. Yeah. I know a lot of people, frankly, one of the reasons why I enjoy this subject is that it's not even political. It's not political because we have people of all persuasions who never bring up religion, never bring up Republicans, never bring up Trump, never, or anybody else in that matter. That's not it. Remember, Charlie, the crime, Charlie, the assailant, or the assailant of Charlie, 3, the motivation, and then 4 is Erica. What does Trump have to do with this? Nothing. It's not a Republican thing. But they're going to try their best because they have to lump this in so that they can besmirch as many people to throw it into the pot and then say, aha. And they're trying to make MAGA a white nationalist, white supremacist, white nativist. They use terms you don't even know what the terms are. And you're saying, wait a minute, I'm not even talking about it. It doesn't matter. But this is what they're going to do. I know for a fact. So just remember, and you forever are always going to be labeled. So one day in Wikipedia, you're going to say, oh, let's look up you. Here's Joe Blow. Oh, Joe Blow is an anti-Semitic white nationalist who's associated with such right-wing, far-right conspiracists like Candace Owens. And you're thinking, wait a minute. All I said was I liked what she said about getting to the bottom of Charlie, and I liked what she said about, see? They'll do this. I know for a fact. This is their MO. So just remember. And you know what you do? Nothing. What are you going to do? Because this is all they have. They never go after the facts. They never say, you're wrong. You are wrong. When somebody says, for example, that, maybe you've met them, the flat earthers. Bless their heart. I love these folks because, look, I just love radicals and I love contrarians and mavericks, and you can't get any more contrarian than to say that the earth is flat. But when people try to debunk or refute that, what they do is they don't call them just crazy and you're nuts and you're anti-science and you're a lunatic. No, what they do is they'll say things like, for example, well, Eratosthenes said prove that the circumference. No, and they give you proof of it. They don't just say you're stupid, you're crazy, you're a racist, you're out of your mind, you're hateful. No. But they do with Candace, and the reason why is because they don't have any way to refute her. When somebody brings up, let's say, these questionable tweets between, allegedly, putatively, between Erica and, let's say, a 15-year-old, you say, here, read this. What do you think about that? Assuming they're authenticated, assuming they're true, what do you think about that? Go ahead. Am I hateful? Or you hateful? Or they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do. When you say, well, let me show you a couple of things. I'm going to show you, this is Erica's Zoom appearance, 6 days, maybe 6 days after Charlie's dispatch. And look at the way she's acting. She's giddy. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. How's everybody? You're doing great with that merch. Keep working. What? Oh, yeah, Charlie. Right, Charlie. Oh, Charlie. Yeah, right. Terrible. Keep working. We got to make those projections. Merch, hats, T-shirts, keychains. Keep it up. Don't forget, Charlie would have wanted that way. tpusa.com. Unbelievable. Creepy. They don't know what to say about that. They don't know what to say about, to me, which red-pilled me, if there is such a thing. It's a picture of her kind of lying over or spread across the body of her husband in the casket to show her, it was her, to use him as a prop. It was disgusting. I don't care what anybody says. So that makes me what, a white supremacist for saying that? Or what? What am I? I don't care what you think I am. That's what it is. So let me tell you what they're doing. And they're going berserk now. They're going crazy. And then you got TPUSA people are saying, well, what about this? Was Charlie worried about A? Was Charlie worried about this? What did Charlie believe? And now TPUSA are saying, well, he might have said that, but that doesn't necessarily reflect Charlie was TPUSA. Who are you? Tyler, Binky, Buffy, whatever these names, whatever these weird Stepfordy kind of, who are these people? Who are these weird kind of, I don't know what they are, preppy, yuppie, Thurston Howell the Third types? They don't connect with anybody. Who are these people? So you're telling me that Charlie didn't believe this? And you're telling me TPUSA, which is his organization, did not share his opinions, which are his opinions? So they're going crazy. Meanwhile, nobody's talking about, number one, the actual crime itself. Number two, nobody's worrying about the actual identity of the assailant or the sniper, which is wrong. And number three, nobody's really going after the intent. Why? Because why and who are connected? Do you really think that this Tyler Robinson, do you really think that he one day was so offended, so overwrought, so absolutely just angered to the point of just fury that he decided to give everything up, leave everything he was doing, and drive out to this godforsaken place with a 30-06 that belonged to Grandpappy and do some pretty good shooting? I don't care what anybody says. And then leave the fact. You think that? Do you believe that? And they want you to believe this fact, and they want you to move on. And they're going to forget it as fast as they forgot Nancy Guthrie. Remember that? Remember her? Remember Savannah Guthrie's mother? Remember that? They just forgot. They said, oh, can't find her. That's it. Everybody back. They'll just drop you. They will ghost you. They will Houdini you. You don't exist anymore. And if something in the middle, if it happens, God forbid, in his jail cell or something, oh, people would have not been surprised because he was kind of crazy. And his co-defendant, fuzzy wuzzy, gay lover, whatever, we'll never hear from him, her, it, they. That's over here. They want you not to look at that. And they don't want you to ask, well, who was involved in it? And they don't want you to look at all of the incredible brave work from some great contributors who are showing you theory and hypothesis after hypothesis of all these things. My friends, what I'm telling you is very simply this. Pay attention very carefully to what's going on right now. Pay attention. Now, let me explain something. I'm telling you it again because I love you, and I've been through this. I've been through this with 9/11. I've been through this with you name it. I've been through this with so many things which turned out to be true. Oh, and by the way, when you're lumped into a particular category, when you're branded or blasphemed or libeled by a truth finding, whatever, there's no correction. There's no apologies. There's no, hey, we were wrong. They never remove you. Nothing. Their idea is to take what you're doing and to besmirch you. And they're going to do a full court press to go after Candace Owens. Let me also remind you, again, which is redundant because if I remind you, I've already said it again. I do not necessarily sign on and endorse everything that Candace says. I might even believe it. It doesn't matter. I'm not voting for her. She's not running for anything. That's not why we're here. She is saying something that I think makes sense. She is saying something like anybody else who posits, who advances, who produces, who suggests an idea which makes sense, which is critical to a particular level or area of understanding or discussion. That's it. And you can try all you want, but when we have our live streams, well, we don't talk about politics. We don't talk about Trump. We don't talk about the Middle East. We don't talk about the Near East, the Far East, the Jade East. We don't talk about any of that. It never comes up. It never comes up. Most of the time, more often than not, there's an order of discussion. First of all, is the inimitable, incredible, immane, the colossal phoniness of Erica Kirk. That's the part that blows our mind. Second might be some of the inner workings of the actual crime itself, maybe who's who, but never the motivation. Now, I'm not saying other people don't, and that's okay, because you jump into this at any level you want. But that's not what interests me. When I talked about the O.J. case, when O.J. Simpson was the crime case du jour, I didn't bring up race. Race wasn't my interest. It was the forensics. Other people couldn't talk about O.J. without talking about race. It was the same issue, but different ways, different perspectives, different foci, different areas of concern, different areas of some type of dare I say, a noetic vector of verity. Whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. But don't let them do this to you. And I'm telling you, they're going to do it. I know their M.O. And you can say, who are they? They are the people who run the show. Not the deep state. No. That's inner workings. Think the shadow government. This is a group of people, think of it as a university with various colleges. That's all it is. Think of it as just this overriding, it's this way of thinking, you might call it globalist. If you give it a name, you miss the point completely. This magisterium is so huge, with so many compartments, you miss the point. But it's a group of people, a group of organizations that have been around for centuries who basically run the show. And what they do is they try to give us, you, and all American and world citizens the idea that they control anything. It's like when you have a baby in the front seat of the car with that little seat, driving seat. It's as though you want the kid to go, yeah, you're driving. See, you're driving. Okay. We're not driving. We're observing. If you think that anybody's listening to us, not individually, but collectively, we determine the momentum. We determine the direction. But we don't necessarily determine outcomes. That's why Charlie was a very, 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 very powerful person. But I do not necessarily believe that he was that powerful that his word could undo or redirect geopolitical thoughts and the like. Sometimes it's even easier than that. Sometimes there are very easy people, not easy, well, maybe easy too, evil people who get a big kick out of controlling the narrative. They didn't need to kill Epstein. They didn't need to do it at all. They wanted to. They wanted to do it just to let you know. He could have been just disappeared. And nobody would have known anything. It would have been perfect. They caused problems. If one day there was this guy named Epstein, if you read the newspaper, well, hold on line. Jeffrey Epstein, New York famed financier or whatever, was disappeared. You say, who? Yeah, he was involved with Ghislaine Maxwell. Who? Robert Maxwell's wife. Who? He had the apartment. Who? It would have been it. It would have been so smart. He would have found, give me the files, thank you, goodbye, ladies. Virginia Giuffre? Nah. Who would she have been? Virginia Giuffre. Bring her lawsuit. Bring her lawsuit. Go ahead. Who cares about Virginia Giuffre? Who cares about her? Who cares? Because who cares about him? But no, they wanted this. They brought it on. They exacerbated. They brought this to a head. They knew what they were doing. That's the way these people think. And you ask yourself, why did you do this? I don't know. Well, because he was connected with this. No, they do it sometimes because they live in a world where they get sloppy. And they say, because we did it, because we can do it. It's that simple. It's that simple. Charlie Kirk, this was not a Tyler Robinson who one day decided, I'm going to do this. There was something else behind this. And it could have been for a variety of reasons. It could be because people really, really just wanted to try it. Now, the last time somebody really needed, I mean, the old days when people were removed like this, like JFK or RFK or MLK, is because they really stood for it. I mean, they were powerful. You eliminate them, you kill the dog by cutting off the head, not the tail. And this is a thing which people have to really understand and grasp completely. Listen to what I'm telling you. I know this sounds strange. I know nobody understands this, and this may be completely alien to you. But I want you to really grasp this. We are in the fight for our lives, and the fight is over truth. And truth is always problematic. And the people who stand to be affected by it will do everything in their power to win and to keep this thing going. They're going to have to do this. It's very easy for people to understand this, and sometimes very difficult, because we always think that we live in a world where there's freedom of speech and you can say whatever you want, and there's the First Amendment. And yeah, there's the First Amendment. But the First Amendment affects you from being shut down by the government. By the government. Not necessarily individuals. Remember, it's not the thought police I worry about. It's the thought vigilantes. Those are the ones that I think are the most important. And that's what we have right here. So you keep thinking whatever you want. Keep asking away. Ask anything you want. Discuss anything you want within reason. Understand the rules. Sometimes you got to use code. But stand behind Candace because she has a right to say what she wants. And if she believes it, say it. And if you support her for other reasons, it doesn't matter. We decide this. We're not going to let some half-assed, outboard truth agency decide what is and isn't truth. Because the last time I checked, it was over with. This whole Orwellian stuff was gone. This dystopian nonsense. All right, my friends, thank you for watching. Please, I feel stupid saying this because but just to remind you, please like this video. Your liking changes everything. Please subscribe to the channel. I've got some questions for you to review. Always remember, hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams, because we do live streams and new videos, and the live streams are a hoot. I thank you for watching. Remember, don't ever be afraid of the truth. Persevere, my friends, and now comment as you see fit.